Ellis,
Yeah.
is there anything that I like can't say?
You can no. I mean, besides like swears or something. But also, whenever you're talking, make sure you're going straight. Like just hold it. Yeah, just hold it like you're talking.
Like right here?
Yeah. There.
Okay.
Alright, here you can show. Is it live? Yeah.
Infantry Uniform Matthews.
So do I just like talk into you?
All right, so we're live. I'm Pearson Strikers here with Henry Kim. Next to me we have Ellis Porto, Jacob, and Damian Marvia. So we're a little bit late starting off. There's 3 minutes and 32 seconds left in the first quarter. Northside's up 15-0 against Chicago Academy. So good game so far.
All right. Passing out to the perimeter. Felix with the ball. Right to the top of the key. Pass it off. Felix. Foul is called.
And that's an offensive foul right there. They called... Actually, I think they called a travel right there. So Northside gets the ball on the side.
Will be Mustangs ball.
Arjumon passing the ball into Tran. Dribbling up. Back to Arjumon. Back to Tran. Arjumon on the perimeter.
He looked like he wanted to shoot there.
Oh, yeah. Tran passes Sternick. Tran in the corner for three. And it's off. Rebounded by Arjumon. Tran. Offense moving around. Brody. Tran for three. And that's good.
Pure shot there from Steven Tran.
Infantry number 11, Steven Tran.
Score's currently 18-0.
So with the ball right here, we have Chicago Academy's best player. That's number 1 right there. That's Isaiah Cortez. He leads the team with 28 points per game. Obviously, the team not on the board today, so you got to think that stat will go down.
Also plays volleyball.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Dante. Stolen by Sternick. In possession to Tran. And goes off.
And that's going to be Mustangs ball, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like it.
That wasn't really a smart play right there from Dante Felix. He probably shouldn't have grabbed that. It would have been out on the Mustangs, but they get a rebound offense.
That's Adu. He's fouled. That's going to be 2.
What are you seeing so far, Henry, from this game that Northside's leading by such a large margin?
You know, it's just like absolute domination. It's like little to no defense.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago Academy has not played their best game, that's for sure, but this is a conference matchup. Northside's won 4 games in a row, and they lead at the top of the conference, 2-0 in conference, and so as of this game, they have the control right now, and you just have to hope that they keep it.
You think they can keep this up, Pearson?
I 100% think they do. I think the home crowd has been helping them a lot. They're undefeated at home this year, so I think that if they keep that up, they will be running home with this game today.
Oh, yeah.
Adu's first free throw was good.
Here's the second. Shoots. It's good.
2 for 2 there for Kevin Adu.
2 for 2, so Kevin Adu.
If you're wondering what that voice is in our background, that's our very own Tyler Wiegand.
Yeah, he's announcing today. So you'll hear his voice in the background. He'll be the PA announcer for this game. Unrelated to us, but we'll take it. Cortez has the ball here.
Full court press by Northside. Stolen by Sternick to Brody, and that's an easy lay.
Yeah, that's been the key here today.
John Brody.
That's been the key here today for sure. I mean, just their defense. They played really well in their game a couple days ago against Alcott. The key there was just playing great defense. And today with the steals, they've been playing very aggressively, and I think it's working for them.
I can see the Northside's playing absolutely suffocating defense on these guys. 22-0 is such a large margin.
Yeah, so I mean, they have complete control of this game, and it's kind of falling apart right now for Chicago Academy. Cortez is not able to get, but this is his first time he's been able to get down to the court, honestly.
Swings. To Ahmad. Cortez. Back to Ahmad.
Ahmad and Cortez really want to get a shot off here. They're their 2 main guys.
Goes coach calling plays. Top of the key with Cortez.
I'll be honest too, the other thing here, it kind of seems like Northside's coach, Coach Rollins, is really into this game, and I'll say that Chicago Academy's coach is not already, so I think that might play a role.
Rebounded by Brody.
Either way though, Northside gets the ball back. 55 seconds left, still a ton of control right now.
I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but there is absolutely zero life on the Chicago Academy bench. Tren with the mid-range. It's off. That's Academy ball.
Would have been good for Owen Arjumand. And it actually, yeah, that's 24 coming in. That's Kyle Orta for Chicago Academy. Coming out is Michael Nowak. Or Novak, my bad.
24, Kyle Orta.
Rushing up the court. And that's good.
And so Chicago Academy's on the board.
Sternick. Adu. Back to Brody. Sternick.
Smart move there not to shoot.
Adu in the paint. Kicks to Steven. Shoots. That's good.
Yeah, you gotta think that's what they have to keep doing. Steven Tran is pure from the three-point line, so if they keep that up, that's really all they need to do, keeping up this good defense, then just getting it to Steven, and they'll be running
Another
free.
steal by Adu. And that's Northside ball.
2.8 seconds left, gotta get a shot off. And so this is quite the blowout so far, Henry. 25-2. I mean, do you think Northside's? I mean, they seem like they're gonna keep this up, but what can they do to not?
And a buzzer beater by Tran. It was no good.
Steven Tran.
Yeah, they gave him that basket. That's the buzzer beater. All right, so 28-2 out of the first quarter.
28-2 Mustangs.
This absolute domination from Northside.
Yes, you gotta think Chicago Academy has to regroup here. I mean, or else this game is gonna be pretty much out of reach within the first half.
My question is, what is going through your head right now? You are down 26 points. What could you be thinking this time?
I mean, I think honestly they have to start doing what Northside's been doing, getting these steals, playing good defense, and just making the right shots. Their shots haven't really been good today. I mean, obviously that was a good basket there at the end by Amadaman. But other than that, I'd say that Northside's controlled the tempo of this game, and if Chicago Academy wants any chance of getting back, they're gonna have to somehow get that tempo on their own
I
side.
completely agree, Pearson.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a small break here going into the second quarter.
When they score, you click like this. Wait, Pearson, can you teach him how to do this? I can take it away.
All he needs to do is just when you go up here, 28, and then down to 2. So basically, you just turn up the time, you stop it when you don't want it to go down. You start it when you do want it to go down. Put the clock back up to 8 minutes. Does that make sense? 8 minutes? Why? Because that's how much time is.
Maybe.
And then you see the score, you just add scores here.
Oh, what's the stat? Wait, is the mic on? All right. Arjumand kicks a Tran into Adu, and that's an easy lay.
Yeah, Henry, I mean, just
Into
again,
number 1, Kevin Adu.
it doesn't really seem like either side of the court is affecting Northside here. I mean, we saw them before the game kind of getting some shots off on both sides of the court before Chicago Academy came out of the locker rooms, and I think it's paid off.
Number 4, John Brody.
They score 2 points, you add 2 points. The clock stops, and you stop it. Does that make sense?
So we'll be in Academy ball.
So don't start until the clock stops.
Cortez. Out to Orta. Kicks out to Mod. Screen. Back to Cortez.
Cortez on the ISO, it looks like, but I don't think he's going to take it.
He's out to the corner. He shoots. That's off.
That's a shooting foul on Matthew Stoniak there. A little bit unfortunate.
So Pearson, I have a question. What do you think the main reason is that this Chicago Academy team can't seem to break the full court press?
Honestly, I think the main thing is that they're not bringing enough people back. They're trying to force Cortez there, that's number one, their point guard, to just get down the court with 3 Northside guys on him. I think in order to change anything, they need to have all 5 of their guys on the other side of the court, just being ready to kind of have quick passes to get down. Otherwise, Northside's full court press is going to be 100% effective.
Right.
It looks like Northside's subbing on, that's Jacob Waslu and Esteban Vargas.
And Jack Mullins.
Or Jack Mullins, yeah. So, second free throw is good there.
Free throw.
That's number 24, Kyle Orta. And so Orta has only their 3rd point of the game here for Chicago Academy. Northside's up 30-3.
What a margin.
Jacob Wasserman. That's for your number 2, Austin.
And so their main starters are going to get a break. John Brody, Steven Tran, and Matthew Sterniak off the court here.
It's another free throw to cut the lead down to 26.
Yeah. Again, Chicago Academy, their main thing is they can't be playing running scared on defense. They have to be playing just as aggressively if they want any chance, but they also can't be leaving guys open like they did right there. And that shot's off to do. And that was a reach and foul right there from Kyle Orta on Chicago Academy. So Northside retains possession.
Arjumon checking the ball in. Adu.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't call a foul there. It looked like they had some contact. Yeah, right there with Chicago Academy having 3 guys on the court. That's what they need in order to get the ball here.
I know, Pearson. It looks like they got it together during the end of the first quarter.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, with the margin this big, that's not going to be enough. Not only do they have to get together, but they have to play better. And right now, even though they're playing better themselves, I don't think they're better than the Mustangs at this point. Right. So we'll see what happens here.
Guarded by Jack Mullins.
And yeah, that 24, Kyle Orta, he's looked like their best player today, and he wasn't even starting. So I think he's probably their 6th man here. But he's had probably the most presence. I feel like that's what's impacted them here, doing a little bit better in the second quarter.
Ahmad open on the perimeter, shoots. That is off. Ooh.
And that's going to be Northside's ball.
Wow.
Mullins here to inbound to Vargas.
Vargas back to Mullins.
And yeah, I mean, it's good to see some of the bench players getting some game time here, especially in a game with such a wide margin.
Arjumon with the mid-range. That's off.
That's a rebound by Orta right there. Again, yeah, he's had the most presence here. To answer your question, I think that's what's changed, and that's a great...
Orta cutting through the defense, and he draws a foul.
And that's a foul on... I think they meant 10, Owen Amir Arjumon with the foul.
Oh.
But a shooting foul, Kyle Orta to the line again. He's 2 for 3 today.
You know, Kyle Orta really has made a significant impact on the outcome of this game.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think that they're going to try to play him for the rest of this game. I mean, still, though, being down by so much, you just got to keep getting him the ball. I mean, and you can see Coach Ron's giving some advice to Jack Mullins here on the sideline. And both free throws are good.
You gotta say that Northside has gone cold there in the second quarter.
And extremely surprisingly, right after we say that, they take out Kyle Orta, as well as Ahmad coming on as starters. That's Michael Novak and Jordan Rivera here coming in.
Mullins passing to Adu at the Arjumon on the perimeter. Vargas wide open, and it's off.
And that was an open shot there from Vargas, but even so, it's good to get him these minutes. I mean, he's basically played as their second unit. He's kind of leaded there as a senior, but also it's good to see Owen Amir Arjumon and Kevin Adu out here to kind of lead some of these players who get a little bit less minutes.
Arjumon open on the perimeter, shoots, and that's good.
That is pure right there. Yeah, that's why they're still out there. Even giving Brody and Tran rest, and as well as Matthew Sterniak, they still have Adu and Owen Amir Arjumon out here, and they've been playing. And they call a shooting foul on Amir Arjumon. That's his 3rd foul today.
And Cortez draws a foul. Shooting foul on Owen Arjumon. Here's Cortez's first free throw. And it is good.
And yeah, that's Cortez right there. Like we talked about at the start of this game, Cortez has been their leading scorer, but today he hasn't really had the presence, so we'll see with order off the court if that can change anything.
Second free throw is good too.
And I'm surprised that Chicago Academy has no one trying to box anyone out, get a rebound potentially. I guess they just really trust Cortez.
I guess so. They've been feeding him the ball all night.
And so with 5 minutes left, Northside's still up 33-9. Granted, they were up 20. They've only scored 5 points this quarter, so you gotta think they want to get a little bit more rhythm.
Vargas cutting inside.
That's a great move.
Oh, but it's off.
That's a great move there from Vargas. Unfortunately, he couldn't get the finish.
Cortez.
Oh, with some moves on Amir Arjman, but Arjman wants that defense.
The screen.
Oh, that's gonna be
and
a
it's
steal.
poked out. It's gonna be a jump ball. Oh, the coach looks like he has some complaints about the call. Oh, looks like it's gonna be an academy ball.
A little bit of miscommunication there.
The other Mustangs basket.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there from the coaching, or from the refs rather. But I think everyone kind of got it.
Open from the corner. Right to Cortez.
He wants to take that. Amir Arjman really wants Cortez today. He wants to play some lockdown defense. Even with the fouls, it's good to see that. And I think he has it locked down so far today with only 3 points from those 3 free throws.
Cortez sizing up. Cutting inside, and that's off. Rebounded by Wazilu. Arjman. Adu running the point. Sizing up his opponent.
And here's Amir Arjman again. Ooh. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think Amir Arjman's kind of getting a little bit caught up here and trying to beat Cortez in terms of just on all stats. But I feel like Coach Ron's kind of told him right there, just kind of feed the ball to some of the other players who are open right there, and don't let Cortez get into his head.
Right. Checking in the ball, number 4, Dante Felix.
And the clarification there was, even though Chicago Academy's in the bonus on an offensive foul, you don't go to the line. So they just get the ball.
Cortez sizing up Arjman. Felix. Rivera. That is air ball. Wassilu up the court to Vargas.
Vargas has that.
With the lay, and it's good. Kicking up the score to 35-9.
Esteban Vargas.
And so yeah, that's a great shot right there for Vargas. You feel like he needed that to get in the rhythm. He had a few missed shots that were after some great moves. Right there, just going back to fundamentals, and that worked.
Chicago Academy trying to cut inside. Blocked.
That's a block by Wasu. That's a great block, and a dude comes down the court. Vargas wanted to shoot that, but smartly passes it down to a dude.
Arjman with the mid-range.
Ooh, that's a little bit off. That's okay. I mean, with a lead this big, those are the types of shots you can attempt.
Right, they can afford to take those shots.
Oh,
Academy cannot.
and that's another foul on North. So that's 6 fouls, and there's where you see Cortez's impact right there. That's an and one. So now he's up to 5 points today. But yeah, I mean, you got to think that they wanted to do that a lot earlier, because when digging themselves in this big of a hole, they're really going to need a lot of more mistakes from Northside in order to get back in this game.
Right. Jack Mullins taking the ball up. Kicking to Adu. Back to Mullins. Is that the Arjman? Sizing up Cortez. With the 3-pointer. And it's good.
And so there, that's what Amir Arjman needed right there, just get back into the rhythm. And you can see that Matthew Sterniak and
Felix
Ludwitsky, yeah. They're both getting ready to come on.
Rebounded by Adu.
You gotta think they're probably gonna come on for Adu and Amir Arjman. because they need a little bit of rest after playing this entire game.
Fake pass to Mullins. Mullins on the perimeter.
That's
Vargas
Vargas.
wide open.
Oh,
And it's off.
that's in and out right there. Again, I feel like Vargas' shots should have been falling. He's been a little bit unlucky. That's Cortez again.
That's off by Cortez.
Rebound by Adu. Here's Amir Ajman going back. He's their point general, so obviously he gets the ball back to Vargas. And also in recent games, they've had Adu kind of moving from the paint, getting a little bit up onto the key, playing more as a forward rather than center. I think that's helped them a little bit, and especially when Waslow's on the court, they can't afford to do that. And you'd like to see him there kind of being like a presence up there on the perimeter.
Poked out by Cortez. Northside still with the full court press.
Yeah, still playing a full court press. They're not giving anything up. I mean, I understand it's a conference game, and so even up this big, you can't afford to make any lapses in judgment. You can't let them back into this game. That's an air
Completely
ball.
contested shot, and Cortez airballs. Arjumand. And that's good, and he draws the foul.
That's an and one right there from This entire game, I'll be honest, Isaiah Cortez is kind of acting like he's all that, and Owen Amir Arjumand kind of letting that go back right into his face.
Obviously, we see he is not that guy.
Yeah, at least today. I mean, he does have the stats to prove it, but I mean, as of today, his team that he's supposed to be leading
So we
is
get
not.
number 21, Matthew Sternak, number 12, Felix Kosminski.
And so Jacob Waslu comes off, as well as Kevin Adu. And so Amir Arjumand for his and one free throw.
What is it? It's off.
And a little bit of confusion here. I think they thought it was white ball, but I think they're going to stay with Chicago Academy here. And that's the one nice thing about having leads like this, Henry, is that those types of calls that could go either way tend to not matter when you're up by this much. You can afford that type of thing and that kind of rough bias.
Right. Like, you can look over a missed call when you're leading by, like, 38.
Yeah, 100%.
Inside, and he gets absolutely clamped.
That's going to be a jump ball. Unless he stepped out of bounds. Yeah, they're calling him stepping out of bounds. So that's good defense right there from Amir Arjumand and Matthew Sterniak. And so Northside with 45 seconds left, up by 28. Just a great half from them here. You got to think that they're going to hopefully keep pounding. Maybe we got to see some new faces here in the second half. But for now, they're running with Arjumand, Sterniak, Jack Mullins, Felix Kosminski, and Esteban Vargas here on the court.
Mullins always poked out. Recovered by Vargas, but it's a foul.
They call a reach and foul there on number 3 there. That's Ahmad Ahmad. And so it's going to be Northside ball again. One thing they did look up, if you're wondering why they were able to go back court without getting a violation, it's because Chicago Academy poked that ball out. So that's a case where those types of things would not count or apply there.
Arjumand looks like he's going to run the clock out. Oh, nope. Back to Vargas.
I think they're just going to...
Mullins.
They want that last shot.
Arjumand
Or maybe
pulls it,
not.
And it's off.
There's Ahmad with the rebound. Cortez is going to go for the buzzer.
Trying to get a last second in.
Why would he shoot it
Shoot
there?
it, and it's off. Rebounded by Litwitzki, and that is the half.
And yeah, that is a stop padding rebound there for Litwitzki, but you'll take it.
Well, it's been a real pleasure commentating for you all. I'm going to pass it back to Ellis Corda, your regular commentator.
Yeah, and so if you're wondering, we're very glad to have Henry Kim here. Continuing on. So yeah, coming into the second half, we'll be back with me and Ellis as usual. And if you're wondering, you can get those types of opportunities to commentate if you join NCP TV. Obviously, follow us on all of our social medias. That's at @NCP_TV on Instagram. And our YouTube, that's where all of these things come out. That's at the NCP TV. For inquiries, email thencptv@gmail.com, as we're going to go into the Palm Squad, or the cheerleading squad, my bad, rather, for their performance. Obviously, they're reigning city champions 3 times in a row, so you got to think their coach, Coach Mulligan, and the rest of the girls are very excited to continue performing and being a fixture for the team.
Can we use this charger? Let me see where am I
He's a bitch. Oh, what'd you get on Unit 5? I got an 94. Huh? I got an 81, but I still got an 87. Oh, dude, clutch up then. Lock in for finals. Lock in.
You got 100 on the
Yeah. Yeah, just lock in. I'm good.
All right, so we're back.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, we're good. So Ellis is back with us today. Like I said before, halftime, Henry's just coming helping us out, getting some experience. If you do want to get some experience, definitely feel free to join. You can just DM us at @ncp_TV on Instagram, or you can email thencptv@gmail.com. As periodically today, appears we'll continue getting interrupted by Tyler Wiegand, but that is okay. We can accept that. So it looks like starters are going to be back out here. So John Brody, Matthew Sterniak, Steven Tran, Kevin Adu, and Onamir Arjamon. So Ellis, good to have you back.
Thank you, Pearson. As we get ready for the second half to get underway, Kyle Orta to inbound, and Isaiah Cortez will bring the ball up.
And yeah, so I mean, Northside's up 28. So honestly, Ellis, the main thing here is just continuing to put on that pressure and not letting lapses in judgment. I mean, even off the bench as their sixth man, Kyle Orta has been playing well. And you
Orta's
can tell,
three was offline there, but
yeah,
overall he's had a good game.
He's had a good game, yeah. And then Isaiah Cortez, while not having a great game today, you can tell he has some flashes. Obviously, he's the leading scorer, scoring 28 points per game, according to Max Preps. But obviously, we aren't really seeing that there. Maybe the quality of opponents haven't been good because honestly, he's been outclassed by Steven Tran.
As Tran there nailed the three to get Northside off to a very good start here in the second half. Northside with some gritty offensive rebounding there. And a great block there by Steven Tran rises up and elevates to reject Chicago Academy.
Yeah, and that was Michael Novak there. I mean, he has the height advantage. Michael Novak is 6'2". Steven Tran is shorter as a point guard, and yet that was just a hustle block, and you love to see that from Northside.
Absolutely. I mean, it just shows that they're still having a lot of fight here, even as the game has gotten a little bit out of hand for Chicago Academy to be able to come back into this one.
Here's Kyle Orta. Kyle Orta has had some really nice skill moves. I'm surprised he wasn't starting today. But I'd say probably a good move on their part to kind of put him back in because he's been kind of what's rejuvenated this offense a little bit. Although with such a big deficit, honestly, it's more about momentum into the next game than it is for this one.
As here's Orta now, guarded closely by Steven Tran at the top of the key. Orta looking for options, can't really find anybody right now. Tran trying to take the ball away and into the lane there, and it's going to be a foul. Yakub Thmood gets fouled there, driving into the lane, and he will shoot 2 free throws. Northside lead big here. They're up 31 points.
So I mean, the one thing is Northside just has to stay disciplined. Obviously, they've the one thing that's kind of been off about this game. They've been playing a really good defense, good steals. They've won on the boards. Obviously, they're winning in terms of shooting. But I'd say the main thing is just staying off the foul sheet. Will be not only important for this game, but again, as we continue talking about this, the top teams of the conference that are on par with Northside. I mean, obviously, as I talked about with Henry, Northside, 4-game win streak, undefeated at home. They're first in conference right now, but you got to think that Amundsen and Von Steuben are right on their tails. So just staying disciplined and being prepared for those games will be important, even when playing teams like Chicago Academy who are still kind of budding.
As Thmood missed both free throws, and now Matthew Sterniak with the ball. Sterniak to Brody. Brody can't quite handle the pass, and Cortez will drive. Cortez almost had it taken away, and he gets the layup to fall and one. Cortez will go to the line here as Chicago Academy have had a little bit better of a run of late, and they're starting to make it just a little bit closer as Northside came out of the half pretty hot. 6.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. And Cortez nails his first free throw. Here's Onamir Arjamon now. Arjamon calling the play as he brings the ball up. Here's Steven Tran now. Steven Tran, number 11, point guard for Northside. He has really keyed the team to their success today. And now Kevin Adu. Adu takes it back to Amir Arjamon. Brody will reset at the top of the key.
And yeah, one thing I've liked to see from Coach Rollins here is that he kind of keeps resetting who's at the top of the perimeter, top of the key there. I mean, it's good to see.
Tran again. This three won't go.
Just a little bit up, and another rebound right there. That's been key.
And there's Sterniak, and he's going to be fouled, and he will shoot 2 once again. He's been, over the last couple of games, I think that his offensive rebounding has just really been key. What do you think has changed for Northside, especially with his offensive rebounding?
I mean, honestly, just like last game, I mean, Matthew Sterniak has been key in terms of just being there on the boards and having a presence in the key. I'd say that's what they had. That's what helped them in their outcut game, which was also a blowout. So I would say that just that has really helped them, and getting those rebounds can kind of circumvent maybe like being a little bit less disciplined in terms of sending the other team to the line. Because when you're getting those rebounds, when you're beating them and you're boxing them out and you're making the right moves, I think Sterniak has led the team here, and it's good to see from him as a junior starting with a bunch of seniors. I'd say each player on this starting lineup, and honestly for this entire team, has kind of shown great leadership.
Sterniak gets the rebound again, and here's Onamir Arjamon has it knocked away, and Cortez came away with the rebound.
But yeah, that's been key for them. And one other thing is that even when up, they're still playing hard. like Steven Tran right there. That's a great.
So here comes Tran. Tran lays it in, takes it all the way to the rack. 47 points now for the hosts. They're having a massive game.
I mean, honestly, Steven Tran obviously is the star of this team. I mean, along with Odomir Ajman and John Brody, Kevin Adu. I mean, honestly, this whole starting lineup, Matthew Sterniak, and even some players on the bench too. Like obviously a good block here today from Jacob Waslaw. He had a nice shot to get back on the board there for Esteban Vargas. Obviously, Jack Mullins has played a really big role for this team, especially in the absence of Owen Stepp and Will Moran. And speaking of that, one injury update for Will Moran is that he is off crutches, so that is a good sign. He's still using on the walk around, but in the gym we've seen him moving around and kind of being a little bit more hype on the bench, so that's good to see. Hopefully we can get him back in a few games coming in next week.
As Northside really stretched the floor, and Sterniak with a nice finish. Just great court vision there from Steven Tran. Tran's court vision has really keyed the team to a lot of their fast break success, you got to say.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the one thing that Steven has, I mean, he just has great basketball IQ. He makes the right passes. He knows where to go into the steals, not to get reaching fouls. It looks like Charlie Fisher's going to come in here for Kevin Adu. Or actually, my bad, that's Odomir Ajman. He needs the break. But speaking of that, even with Odomir Ajman coming up right now, him and Cortez have had kind of like a back and forth matchup this game. And so far, I feel that Odomir Ajman has been winning. That Cortez kind of been trying to get in his head, but Amir Ajman is not letting that go. That's a reaching foul.
As Northside here trying a little bit different of a lineup. They're trying to match the size, just a little bit more of Chicago Academy. Northside obviously doesn't quite have the size to compete with some other teams, but definitely has a lot of that guard play that's really helped them win the games. But they took out Amir Ajman and replaced him with Fisher, so they're playing really three forwards, kind of a wing in Brody, and then their point guard in Tran.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think he needs the break, but like I said, he's been having a great game. But
here's Sterniak once again. He lays it in.
Yeah, that's the type of thing you need, is getting those fast break points. And
here's Cortez. Cortez will bring the ball
there was a
up.
little bit of confusion. The ref kind of wanted that ball back, but Chicago Academy did not oblige it. Ooh.
As Ahmad airballed the three-pointer.
He will go to the line. I mean, that was a little ticky-tacky foul there on Charlie Fisher. I mean, I get it, but also at the same time, like, I don't know how much contact is really there, but obviously we aren't going to argue with the refs here. We respect IHSA. And so as we continue here, really quickly, I'd like to say, obviously, thanks to Henry Kim, for coming here at the start, and then obviously you else being back here. We have Amin Koyafu on tech. We have
Jacob Del Rosario here.
Yeah, additionally, and then obviously we have Damian Marvia on the camera.
As Ahmad hits his free throw. He's had a quiet night today, but looking to gain a little bit more importance for them in the second half.
And so now he's 3 for 5 on free throws today.
You gotta say he's been overshadowed just a little bit by Isaiah Cortez's guard play as the focal point of their attack.
Yeah, and I think you can tell that Cortez does have some things in his bag, but so far he hasn't really been able to show it out. It'll be interesting to see with Odomir Ajman, who's kind of been like his main rival per se, what he'll try to do, because Amir Ajman's kind of locked him down all game. His only real points have come from the free throw line, and that's what you want to see for a player.
Tran, a deep three, and it's money. Steven Tran has been absolutely on fire today.
Yeah, there is no question that regardless of what stats say, Isaiah Cortez, as their star player, has been completely outplayed by pretty much all of Northside's guards.
Nice lay-in there by Yakub Smood.
And yeah, speaking of Yakub Smood, we'd like to shout him out in the sense that he had a double-double game. It was Chicago Academy's actually first double-double via a block.
Tran, no good.
And so that's good for him to see. But so far his impact hasn't really been felt. And also 0 for 2 on the free throw line. So you have to feel like he wants to kind of get back into it.
And it's going to be a timeout here on the floor. I think that was called by Chicago Academy. And you got to say, this second half, Northside really hasn't been able to stretch their lead that much. But I think they also haven't really needed to. They've done what they've needed to do and just kept the lead where it's at. And I think that the last couple of games when they've gotten off to that huge lead in the first half, they've struggled just a little bit to hold on to that. So I'd say they've done an excellent job of just stopping the game in its tracks.
Yeah, Coach Rollins has executed a great game plan today for the guys here today. I mean, it seems like all of them really know what they need to do, where they need to be. They're at their spots. The passing lanes have been completely open here, and I think that Chicago Academy hasn't really been able to respond to the full court press, while Northside has been doing the opposite. Any new thing that they throw at them, whether it be changing size, whether it be on just changing the numbers players, whoever's out there. They've been doing a great job there in countermeasuring that, and that's what's helped them maintain such a large lead.
And you got to say, Northside, like the first couple games we saw them at home, especially against Northridge, they struggled just a little bit with that full court press. But now they've been able to not just overcome some of that or some of those issues playing against their opponents, but they've also been able to master it for themselves. So here's Cortez for three. Cortez, his three is offline. And Steven Tran with the rebound. Tran will bring the ball up, goes fast, tipped, and Northside will retain possession there. Tran looking to stretch the floor once again, and that's how they've gotten a lot of easy layups.
And there's Felix Litwinski coming in for Matthew Stodiak, so the fellow juniors. But I'd say for both of them, it's good to see Litwinski. He's had a decent game today. And just obviously just matching that size, rotating the guys, making sure that no one's really too tired from a game that honestly you don't need to be tiring anyone out.
As Northside have started to go a little bit more into the bench here, is now they have two guys out from the bench. And
that's another block from Felix Litwinski. That's a great block right
he's
there.
done a nice job. Last game he had a couple of struggles with getting some rebounds late in the game against, I think that was Sen, but this game he's provided a really solid presence at the post. So Steven Tran now at the top of the key, yelling out the play.
Yeah,
here's Kevin Adu.
As much as we shouted out with Mirajman, obviously Steven Tran right here, a little bit off right there. But not only these players coming from the bench and stepping up, like Litwinski and Wassler with their blocks, but additionally you can see Kevin Adu being the leader on this court. He's the one telling them where to be on offense, where to be positioning on defensively. And so you can tell, obviously, these seniors are really taking a leadership role for this team, and it's really been helping them.
Yeah, Adu's been extremely vocal this game and really trying to guide the team as Tran tried an acrobatic lay-in, and it's going to go out of bounds. And it'll go back to Chicago Academy to be inbounded by, that's Kyle Orta.
Yeah.
Right, and now Cortez is going to bring the ball up here. Cortez stretches the floor just a little bit. Here's Orta. Orta now, back to Cortez. Cortez wanted to take it himself instead. Oh, a little step back. His jumper is no good, but he had Charlie Fisher by the ropes there, you gotta say.
Yeah, but I mean, again, honestly, I like to see Charlie out here. He's a tall dude. You want to see him getting a little bit more minutes. So I'm glad that Coach Rollins has put him in. I think he can be a difference maker for their second unit, especially in those games that will be mattering more coming into later into the season.
Here's John Brody. Now Steven Tran. Tran, another three. He hits this one. Another three for Steven Tran. Northside now lead by 34. And here's something exciting. Isaac Adewale is going to come into the game for the first time this season. He's been hurt with a hip injury. And the three is good there. That was Kyle Orta.
And again, like we said, Kyle Orta has been the key playmaker here for, I mean, as much as obviously this is Isaiah Cortez's team, Kyle Orta has been the key player there as John Brody with the lay-in. That could have been an N1, but again, you got to think that the refs are going to be a little bit more lenient, especially with such a large lead, and you got to think that Northside will accept that. And so here's Charlie Fisher going against Kyle Orta right here. That was some good defense.
And the lay-in is airballed there. That was Michael Nowak.
And so we're going to see Esteban Vargas and, as you mentioned, Ellis, Isaac Adewale in here for, it appears, Steven Tran and Kevin Adu. So rightfully so, we're going to see basically a full second unit here. I believe everyone out on the court right now, besides John Brody, is going to be from the second unit. And something we've seen Coach Ron do is while he's mixing his lineups, he always kind of keeps one of those key seniors as the leadership person on the court. Obviously, we saw Mirajman and Kevin Adu staying on when Brody, Tran, and here's Vargas right here.
Vargas hits the three.
That is what you like to see there.
Esteban Vargas has had a nice game today. And Kyle Orta will take the ball up. Under a minute left to play in this third quarter. Orta guarded by Adewale. Looks inside now. Back to Orta. Orta faked the three, drives into the lane, and his layup is high off the glass and in. Really nice play there by Kyle Orta.
Yeah, one thing I will say, Kyle Orta has taken control of this game for Chicago Academy, and while the score may not reflect that, it has been impressive to see what he's been able to do. I mean, right there, he was quadruple teamed and still was able to get that bucket. So John Brody's going to be top of the key again, controlling the play for Northside.
Here's Esteban Vargas. Vargas inside. Fisher couldn't quite handle it. And here comes Orta the other way. Orta nearly had it taken away there by John Brody. He comes away with it. Now then, his pull-up jumper off the rim, and it'll go out. So
that would have counted Ellis, but
62-28 Mustangs.
as Tyler just said, it's 62-28. Northside leads Chicago Academy here. Northside just with a dominant performance today, and Chicago Academy have had very little to offer.
yeah, I'd say within this game, it seems like coaches are commenting with the ref.
And it looks like, I think it's Isaiah Cortez, just a little bit shaken up on the sideline and receiving a little bit of attention from the athletic trainer here tonight.
Yeah, so shout out to ATI Physical Therapy, I think is the sponsor for IHSA trainers. We hope that he's okay. I mean, you hate to see that with any player, but with his absence, you got to think that Kyle Orta will take a bigger role, as well as we saw Joey Corlex on the court, and while he hasn't really gotten involved on the offensive end, he would be that backup point guard for them.
Orta just looks to have a little bit of a cut, but nothing too serious.
Yeah, and so you can kind of, I feel like it's two different messaging here from the coaches. Obviously, you got to think Coach Rollins is just telling your second unit guys to get those good looks, get good shots, make sure the passing lanes are good and that they're not just rushing, especially with such a big lead. I mean, like we talked about last game against Alcott, there's a balance between sportsmanship and also just getting these new guys some points, and I think as long as they can find that, the main thing is just getting those good looks. And I think that'll be key. I'd like to see maybe Isaac Adewale get a shot off, maybe Charlie Fisher get involved more on the offensive end. But obviously, as we know, that Brody and Esteban Vargas will be there as well, and Litwinski obviously on the defensive end. So yeah, hopefully we can see some new faces kind of take the lead here.
For sure. And you got to say that Northside's second unit, like while they've often in these last couple of games have had a negative plus minus, they've really looked a lot more comfortable today, and they've looked like they can be that second unit that provides a lot of backup for the first group of starters.
Yeah, and I think balancing that, one is like we talked about, having a leader on the court, and two, with Isaac Adewale back, the team will become a lot more balanced, I'd say, because they'll be able to have a full second unit out there to replace their starters if necessary, which is really key, especially with some key injuries there from some of the younger players who might eat some minutes for their guards.
Here's Kyle Orta. Orta's jumper is offline, and Esteban Vargas brings it down nicely. Chicago Academy no longer trying to pressure Northside after they miss a shot. Instead, they're going back down and getting on defenses. They were really getting exploited on that fast break, especially by Steven Tran. Here's Vargas again off the rim, and his three is no good.
But Charlie Fisher gets the rebound there, and back to Vargas.
Good hustle there by Charlie Fisher, and now here's John Brody.
They're double teaming John Brody here.
And then Vargas getting guarded closely. Nice play there, and the shot is offline. That was Felix Litwinski with some nice post play, just couldn't quite get the finish that he wanted. Here's Kyle Orta now. Orta
I'm not sure
working on Brody.
This is coming through the mic, but Coach Rollins is really telling his team to slow down. He's not trying to have them rush, and I think John Brody might come off here for Jacob Waslu, so we might get a chance to see a full second unit.
One player who's been a really big part of their second unit, but who hasn't seen quite as much action tonight has been Jack Mullins, and said they've looked a little bit more to Charlie Fisher and Felix Litwinski and tried to play just a little bit of a larger lineup, because often they like to go to small ball, especially against teams like Alcott, who had like a lot of post presence, so they tried to exploit that with some guard play, but tonight they've been able to work inside really nicely.
And I think within that, it also is a good thing in the sense that likes of Mullins, Owen Stepp, Will Moran will get maybe some minutes in JV games as well. Possibly.
Isaac Adewale. His first bucket of the season is off the backboard, and it's a three. Really nice from Isaac Adewale.
This season, obviously the 100% is always a nice number. Okay, Orta trying. Whoa!
Orta with the immediate response. That three was not off the backboard, but that was a little bit more on target. Now then, Adewale, a second time. Not quite this time. A little bit short. Maybe overcompensated for the last one going a little bit long. As here comes Kyle Orta once again. Orta back to Ahmad Ahmad. Ahmad Ahmad's three is no good.
Good defense there from Fisher.
Here's Esteban Vargas. He'll bring the ball up now.
And yeah, we're really going to get to see what their second unit will look like, because really, like we've talked about before, the sophomores on this team are really more to eat minutes for their guards, which means the guards might be rotating out, whether that be Vargas, Mullins, Will Moran, etc. But it's good to see some of these big men here, because that will help Coach Rollins decide who he wants to put in the solidified second unit. And also when they play bigger teams like we've talked about, Amundsen, Von Steuben. And you can hear right there, sound by John Brody knew that was a travel, and we knew it too. So Northside will get possession back. But like I was saying, seeing these bigger guys, Jacob Waslu, Litzwinski, Charlie Fisher, and Isaac Adewale, that will help maybe Coach Hans have more clarity in picking his second unit against bigger teams like Amundsen and Von.
All right, here's Waslu. Fisher for 3. Oh, he hits it. It looked like he got hit a little bit. Surprised they didn't call a foul. But Charlie Fisher's look from beyond the arc is true. And now here comes Isaiah Cortez. Cortez to Orta. Orta seems to have the ball in his hands every possession now, as he's been Chicago Academy's only viable offensive option this half. And
great play from Charlie Fisher there, good rebound, and he has
Fisher
Esteban.
going long. Esteban Vargas lays it up and in. 70 points now for the host. They lead 70-31, and the bench is very pleased with what's happening right now. Brody and Sterniak with the chest bump.
And yeah, just again, great rebounding. That's been key. They've had rebounding. They're controlling the tempo, and they're continuing fast breaks no matter what the unit is. I mean, Chicago Academy has their starters out here, and while we can't... Oh, that was almost in. That could have been an and one for Felix Litzwinski. Although there's actually kind of some confusion on what this call is, whether it's a shooting foul or an offensive foul for Litzwinski.
And they're going to say that it was a shooting foul as Northside will inbound. Here's Charlie Fisher now, who'll take this inbound. 4.5 minutes left. Northside with the commanding lead.
100%, Alice. I mean, this is a great thing here. I mean, seeing their second unit thriving, granted, against... Well, we can admit that Chicago Academy may be a little bit weaker in terms of their starters. It's always a good thing to see your second unit out there and still being just as competitive against starters, and honestly better. So I think that's good to see, and it's also great to see many more... Oh, my God.
Vargas with a deep 3, rebounded by Lewinsky, and he can't quite finish. Cortez will bring the ball up now, and it's obviously this game's already put away, but Orta takes the 3 and he'll hit it. Orta has really been their player of the game here tonight.
Yeah, that was a nice sound, Alyssa, I have to admit, but obviously it won't really make a difference in the context of this game.
And they're going to call a foul there on Isaiah Cortez. They're going to say he reached in on Esteban Vargas, so Charlie Fisher will inbound to Vargas.
And one thing I can say, Alyssa, is I was talking to some of the coaching staff today, and they talked about how in their practice sessions they've been working on three-pointers, and you can see that all of their players have kind of been attempting them and being successful. And that's a really good thing to see that's working, because they've always had this kind of small ball presence in the paint.
That's great play there by Charlie Fisher. Fisher's had a really great rebound game, and nice work by Isaac Adewale to keep that ball that it looked like he was potentially going to lose in play. Here's Orta now.
Adewale has him. He gets past the screen right there. That was good from him right there.
It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do with Orta to respond to how well he's been playing as rebounded. And here's Ahmad Ahmad. Orta. Cortez for 3. It's good. Chicago Academy is shooting, just starting to pick up a little bit here. And they're going to call, I think, they're just going to say Northside need to... Nope, they're going to say it's Chicago Academy ball. I think that they're saying that Adewale's foot was inbounds when he inbounded the ball. So a little bit of a sloppy turnover there, but nothing doing as they lead by 35.
And we can appreciate the integrity from these IHSA refs. Obviously, like, the calls are sometimes can be a little bit questionable, and maybe not in terms of how they actually are, but in terms of our feelings and our biases. So it's good to see that even with the game so far ahead, and wow, that's a 3 from Jordan Rivera. That's his first shot of the game and first shot in.
And Chicago Academy have now hit 3 consecutive triples as Waslu managed to keep it, but he throws it out of bounds. Adewale and Waslu not quite on the same page there. And Joey Corlex will come into the game. He's going to replace Ahmad Ahmad, who checks out probably for the last time this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'd say that for Chicago Academy, I feel like it's a little bit too little, too late. I know it's a bit cliche, but I'd say that if they could have gotten this rhythm at the start of the game, this could have been a completely different story.
I mean, Northside were up 20-0, I think. I mean, Northside just got off to a really, really strong start, and Chicago Academy just did not show any life really until this fourth quarter. Pearson, how can Northside stop these teams from having these big fourth quarters? Because over the last 3 games, they've had these really big leads, and they've just struggled to hold on to them in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think the one thing, Alice, is...
Another 3 there. That was Rivera again.
And yes, they're on a roll, but again, as we said, it won't really matter in the context of this game. But in the fourth quarter, you're right. The team has been weakest in this quarter. It's the type of thing that you don't like to see. The thing is, though, when they get these big leads, it's because that the other teams are playing their starters while Northside plays their second unit. So I think that could be a part of it. I think in some of these more competitive games, for example, against Northridge, they did play, while playing a slightly worse fourth quarter than Northridge. At the end of the day, they controlled the tempo, and that was what gave them the ability to give John Brody the buzzer beater opportunity that he made. And so I would say that key things here are just making sure that whoever is on the court, whether it be the second unit against starters, whether it be starters against starters, no matter the quality of the other team, that you still play just as hard, because Northside plays really aggressively. You can tell they hustle in the first quarter. They get a lot of steals, I'd say. But it's just about not being sloppy.
Adewale, they were trying to have a big-time block on Cortez, but couldn't quite reach the ball, and Cortez hits the layup now. So, coming up...
Sorry, Alice. I just say that we talked about before this quarter about how the one thing is about making sure the passing lanes and the shooting lanes are good, that they're making the right shots and the right passes. To answer your question, I'd say that's one of the things that's kind of a bit sloppy in possession, which is given Chicago Academy the opportunity to get the ball and make these threes. But at the end of the day, and I think no one's checking in. It's just Coach Rollins giving Esteban Vargas and Charlie Fisher some advice.
Chicago Academy are bringing back in a couple of starters. They're bringing in Dante Felix, and I believe that is Michael Novak. So Chicago Academy trying to give people some more minutes, but they are taking out Isaiah Cortez, who's been their ringleader. And there goes Kyle Orta for the last time this game. Kyle Orta has just had a phenomenal game for Chicago Academy. Obviously, it was over almost from the start for them, but he's really led the team tonight. What has he meant for them?
And Coach Ron's on the court, I think. Oh, okay. He's just telling Charlie Fisher to tie his shoe. Nothing actually too serious right there. But I'd say, Alice, it looks like I think we're safe to say that this will be another home win for Northside. They're undefeated. This is their 5th win in a row. Not counting the tournament, they are 6-1. So I would say Northside has played a great season so far in terms of conference games and in like the actual regular season. So
yeah, and I mean they've been able to overcome a little bit of a slow start in that tournament, but since then, I mean, they've just looked like a different basketball team. There's a couple chances that a putback wouldn't quite go, and this is going to go Chicago Academy's way. That's going to be a foul on number 12 for Northside. That is Felix Litwinski. So Northside coming up, obviously some more conference games and some more home games. They're going to want to keep this momentum up. They're going to want to keep getting wins. And I think that obviously their home game winning streak is really big for them right now, as they're going to try to keep that momentum going into some potentially tougher games coming up.
And honestly, Ellis, I mean, in general, I mean, they have a win streak going that has been really great. I mean, ever since that loss to Notre Dame at Notre Dame, which obviously is a tough matchup with a team that is in quite literally another class. Obviously, Northside's a Class 3A school. Notre Dame's a Class 1A school.
Adewale is stretching the floor here.
Oh, that's...
And
wow.
It's going to be taken away.
I thought Northside would get that ball back, but it's okay. I mean, again, as we talked about early on in this game, when you're up by this much, it gives you the cushion to make those types of mistakes and be okay with that and be at peace.
So coming up, what games do Northside have, Pearson?
Yeah, for sure. So like we said, Northside's leading Amundsen and Von Steuben, especially after this game.
And there's a 3 there. Jacob Wasselu.
And so I think with that, I think pretty much everyone on Northside has a 3 or at least an attempt at 3 today. So like we said, I think the coaching plans, execution of kind of getting more behind the perimeter has been good. Like we said, Northside leads Amundsen and Von Steuben and will continue to after this game in terms of conference. They maintain their number 1 lead as this game will be counted down.
And Northside are going to get the W once again. An absolutely commanding 76-45 win over Chicago Academy. The Mustangs looked phenomenal from the start, and they're going to improve to 3-0 in conference play. Pearson, who do they have coming up?
We're going to have to wait until Tyler finishes his spiel. I don't know. I think he's done. All right, yeah. So Ellis, next up they have Lakeview. It's another in-conference game. Lakeview has been relatively strong.
That's going to be
they've been
a road game.
Strong. I mean, they have they're 6-3 overall, but in conference they are 1-1. Northside has already beaten them, so I'd say this is the game they really need to stay focused. And obviously, that game was at Lakeview. I'm pretty sure this next game is at Northside, although I do have to check the schedule.
Yeah, so I think that one might be another road game. Yeah, it is going to be another road game.
Okay, so 2 away games against Lakeview, but I think Northside can handle it if they play the same way they did before. Unfortunately, that was the game that Will Moran did get injured at, so hopefully no bad omens in terms of that. And after that, they do have a very tough matchup in their last game of the regular, or not the regular season, but before break in terms of regular season play, and that's going to be St. Patrick, who historically has been a very strong team. Although this year they are also 6-3, just like Lakeview, but considering the fact they are in a stronger conference, that might change a few things. But you got to think that that is the game that Northside has circled on the calendar, and it's no disrespect to Lakeview. As a conference opponent, obviously conference games do matter, and Northside's been very strong against conference. But you got to think that what they're preparing for is this game against St. Patrick, which is on the 21st of December. The Lakeview game's on the 15th. And then afterwards, during break, there is a tournament that they'll be participating in from the 27th to the 30th, but no information there in terms of matchups until they confirm all the teams that are playing and being seated in that.
And that St. Patrick game will be our final broadcast of the calendar year until we go into 2024.
And within that will play a few actually close rivals, including Northtown and Mather coming into that January. And while Mather is in conference, as well as North Grand, and even though Northtown is not in conference, obviously it's always a fight just down Peterson down the road. And so those games are always going to be important. But I think the main thing, Ellis, is finishing out strong. Obviously, the key there is that St. Patrick game. So I think if they can do what they did against Northridge and really limit them on the offensive, in terms of their offense, even if not on the glass in terms of size, but just being able to have a presence and being able to get those steals and successfully execute a small ball play, I think that's what will be key for Northside to end off this year.
All right. We hope to see you tomorrow for our swim meet broadcast. That's going to be Northside, Whitney Young, and Taft, the big swim meet. We're going to step away now and end our broadcast. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we'd like to thank, obviously, Henry Kim, Ellis Porter, Pearson Streckless. We've been on the line. We'd like to thank people in tech on the background, Amikoya Oyefua, Jacob Del Rosario, and Damian Marvia. Also, shout out to Tyler Wiegand for being our PA announcer today. But yeah, going to this JV game, it should start at 6:30, so if you are still in the building, you are welcome to come. Also, another event is obviously the 7 p.m. orchestra concert, and same thing, 7 p.m. tomorrow for the choir concert. The swim meet will start at 5 p.m. tomorrow. It's against Whitney Young and Taft. That should be a great one according to what we've talked about with Coach Sell. And you'll hear some new voices for that meet. It'll be led by Rita Din and Ryan Feeney, who are both swimmers in their own right. So that's going to be a fun one, Ellis, for sure.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Good night.